On Monday, President Obama lectured European leaders, saying that they were scaring the world by not acting quickly enough on the debt crisis. Excuse me, Mr. President? The US has economic problems similar to Greece, serious and crippling structural problems, huge government debt, banks unwilling to lend, and high unemployment. With me now from California is Kalima Rose. Among other titles, she's a senior director of Policy Link, a research institute attempting to advance economic and social fairness, a bit like pushing large rocks up Mount Everest. She's also one of those who came to the rescue of New Orleans, a city I love, after Hurricane Katrina and when George Bush was sitting on his hands and his checkbook. Kalima, welcome to The Real Deal. Now, unemployment in the US has been on an upward graph since March this year, and currently almost 1 in 10 of you are out of work, and it's slated to get much higher. So much for lectures on action from the president, no?
Yeah, we have a very serious, hi George, thanks for having me from all the way from California, and we do have an increasing and crippling unemployment problem in the United States that is growing and that I think is particularly treacherous for our future.
Is it growing everywhere, Kalima, and at the same rate? I mean, one is kind of used to post-industrial America, places like Michigan, Detroit, with huge levels of unemployment. But is this now a phenomenon that's affecting all parts of the country?
You know, it's interesting. We're right here next to the Silicon Valley, so you would think California would be a place that would be doing all right. And you see like a state like Washington where the Microsoft Corporation is holding ground. They are not in such a bad recession, but we're really in quite a terrible way here. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in California. We were hit hardest by the mortgage foreclosure crisis. And, you know, we have this kind of changing demographic trend in America, which is feeding into this problem. If you kind of draw a crescent moon around the West Coast, the south of the United States, and the East Coast, you see that we have a growing minority-majority population. So California has already tipped into being a majority people of color state, and states across the South, and you see that as when you do projections out, you see it growing upward into the rest of the United States. And so right now, I think 80% of our elderly population is white, and majority of our population under 18 are children of color. So you see a sort of demographic shift. And so when you look at the communities that have the highest unemployment rates in America, it's African American and Latino populations, and they're in at 22%, you know, much higher than the average of 9%. And so when you think about investing in a future middle class in America, it's really our need to invest in those young people to be productive workers. At the very moment, we're making huge cuts to education, and their families are experiencing high unemployment rates.
It's not the best circumstance for President Obama to seek re-election, is it?
Well, I wish that he could, just as you were saying, Angela Merkel, you know, rested through the debt deal. I wish that we could rest through the jobs deal that he's put on the table. I think it has some really good targeting of communities that have faced persistently high unemployment. And he's set aside a fund to do worker retraining, which I think is critical in America for today. And it's really focused on the things that will make us competitive in the future, like reinvesting in our infrastructure and our schools.
Well, the very best of luck with that, Kalima. Come back and talk to us again.